Are loching, dumelang. Yeah, guys, is the ANC that is forcing us to address this racist white supremacy DA that has an illness of short-term memory. You know, the DA applies ethics and morals when it suits them. When it doesn't suit them, it does not apply. And I wonder how this racist political party has managed to get a few black people to vote for them. Just says you. Now today, the DA is not worried about pala. They're not worried about anything that has to do with corruption from the ANC. They will protect the ANC by all means, as long as it means to keep the EFF and the MK out of power. John Steenhuisen made a speech and I bumped into it and I was like, oh my God, not this one again. Not this one again. Hi, Gosiam. Let's talk about this little speech of John Steenhuisen and the DA party and much more. Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Be able to form a government.
What about the DA and the ANC?
No, we don't want to be in government with the ANC, and that's precisely...
So that is out of the question.
No, it's precisely why we formed the multi-party charter. My job is to get the ANC out of government. I don't think we're going to solve the country's problems by having the same people who are responsible for the economic crisis, the social crisis, and the infrastructure crisis sitting around the table. We've got to change them, and that's why the multi-party charter has said we will not do deals with the ANC.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinchifa Sono. And we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we're addressing this political party. How can we describe the DA in a best possible phrase? Racist is one of those phrases, and you don't have to take it from me. You can listen to their former leaders, Herman Mashaba and Musi Maimane. They told us that the DA is racist, not me. I was not part of the DA. I don't know. I'm just taking their word for it because I think I believe them. And it's a party that marginalizes black people. It's a party that makes sure black people vote for them so that they can take white people to parliament. And the black people that they take to parliament is completely puppets and coconuts. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about today. You know, if there's one thing that this government of national confusion has taught us or has shown us or have proven to us is that for power, political parties will do everything. How shocked were we when the PAC joined the government of national confusion? Yeah? How shocked were we when the DA signed a clause that they will not vote against Pala impeachment in parliament? The DA said that. How shocked were we that the ANC could work with the Freedom Front Plus? Huh? Hi, guys. No, guys, I'm not talking about just working with them and giving them a ministry. No, I'm talking about them in Northern Cape where they have agreed to say we will further acknowledge Orania as an independent state. They have said that we are waiting for the big announcement because when the white people get that announcement, they will be so happy because the agreement of Freedom Front Plus with the ANC is to say take out Orania out of the Tembelihle municipality. Now today the DA comes out and says, listen guys, we need to understand what is going on here. We don't have a lot of choice. So our option now is to protect Pala so that we can stay with the sellout Cyril Ramaphosa, just to keep those ones who want to change the constitution, because those ones, they want to better the lives of black people. John Steenhuisen. Oh, and I'll be meeting him very soon. Let's listen to what he said.
Karine, thank you very much for the questions. How we'll deal with the Pala matter? Well, it depends what form it comes to Parliament. and we'd have to see what happens. Parliament, as you know, went through a process, and in the 6th Parliament, and the matter was discharged then. It would depend what form that was brought back, whether it's a motion of no confidence. Well, we'd be unlikely to support a motion of no confidence because, frankly, Pala pales into insignificance in the light of the Matodzi affidavit, and with the acts of blatant corruption, state capture, that are evident by the people who would no doubt bring such a motion to try and bring the government down. So Bill Clinton famously said the biggest question in politics is compared to what? And compared that to what is sitting on the other side in the gruesome benches of the EFF and MK, I think that we will take our chances on the side of the president in this one, rather than take it with those who would seek to bring down a government so that they could then negotiate their way back into government for no altruistic purpose and no purpose other than to get their hands on state resources so they could start the flow of those resources into the networks that have now been starved by the fact that there's a new government in town. Occupying those benches in Parliament, on both the EFF side and the MK side. On the EFF side, we've seen the Matodzi affidavit that has come out this week that has confirmed that it was the EFF and its leaders who were at the very epicenter of the looting of VBS Bank. And let me remind South Africans that this wasn't just a bank robbery. This robbery stole from the poorest of the poor in South Africa. It stole from struggling municipalities, it stole from stokvels, it stole from savings clubs, and it stole from people who had invested their meager life savings in a bank looking for protection. And what was that money spent on? It wasn't spent on a social good. It wasn't spent on projects that would uplift and save the poor. Instead, the money was spent on Louis Vuitton items, luxury items, splurges at the Durban July on champagne and other luxury goods. And it shows very clearly that the EFF have no intention of being the vanguard of the poor. This is a mask that they use in order to justify the types of activities that they get up to. Sitting on the benches of MK are the likes of disgraced Judge John Schlope. Sitting on the benches of MK are disgraced former Finance Minister Des van Rooyen. And sitting on the MK benches are the puppets of the Gupta regime, who were themselves involved in the very architecture of state capture in the country. We must not underestimate how much damage would have been done to South Africa if these forces had been allowed to get their hands on the levers of power, both in Parliament, but also at a national executive level. It is a commitment first and foremost to South Africa's and to our country's democratic dream that has led to the DA joining the government of national unity with other parties. But this also means that for the very first time, the Democratic Alliance has an opportunity to introduce a DA different to national government by means of sound policy, clean, accountable governance, and a people-focused governance agenda.
It's pala. It's pala. That is confusing this whole thing. And pala is a clean thing now. The millions of dollars in our couches, it's got no matter to the DA. If you, as a normal citizen, do that, we are tronco. But the DA can say things like, no, it depends how it's going to be presented to us, in what form it will be presented to us. The reason why Steenhuisen is saying that he wants to continue to install fear in the ANC camp, to say we can still vote against you, but we won't vote against you. They are playing that politicking game. It's the first time I see this matriculant using his mind. He says we are unlikely to vote for Palapa, to support an impeachment for Palapala and a motion of no confidence. He says now Palapala pales to comparison to VBS. Really? Really? We're comparing which Or who stole more money? Really? It's not about stealing money. If you steal 1 rand, you're okay. If you steal 10 rand, you're okay. If you steal 10,000, you're okay. If you steal millions of dollars in your couches for a cow that you never sold, a buffalo you never sold, you're okay. But if you steal from VBS, 15 million is too much. It's too much. You must go to prison. That is what we do. That's what the DA does. Excuse me. One thing I like that he said there, and I agree with, is that compared to what? He says everything in politics is all about compared to what. And I've heard he took this phrase from Helen Zille. She likes saying this. Now, yes, compared to the EFF and the MK, the DA would rather have their older brother ANC. They don't want these two for them. Now the question is, has our black political parties asked themselves compared to what? And they did ask that question, and they chose white monopoly capitalists. Solomon Paila told us, they all told us, these politicians, that we said when we chose, we are not choosing the EFF. We don't want to work with the EFF. We don't want to work with Jacob Zuma. He's got too much pride. He's got everything. We want to work with these white people so that they can come and mess us up. Yeah, we're still waiting for that report of 300 million. That was 300 million, guys, through cyber hacking at the Department of Public Works. We're still waiting. Yeah, no, I'm waiting with you guys. You guys said, King, let them investigate, give them a chance. A matriculant must give matriculants chances. Right? Yeah, no. So, and another funny thing, he says the EFF was in the center, the epic center of VBS. Yeah, the EFF was the main people that were stealing money from VBS. Hey, you guys like believing rubbish, eh? How? I like what you are doing, John Steenhuisen. I like what you are doing. You're on a roll there. He says this thing was not just a robbery. It was, they stole from the poor. And I hear a lot of people on the comment section, my African people, saying that King and VBS stole from the poor. Hey, you have forgiven people that stole your land. You have forgiven people that have hanged your ancestors. You have forgiven people that took you out of your land and took your surnames. Some of you are using African surnames. Some of you are using English names. You have taken people that have stolen your tradition. Your children can't speak English. You have forgiven all of those people. Today you want to, because it suits the narrative, they have stolen from the poor. You have forgiven 25 banks that have manipulated the currency against you. As a black person, you pay a higher interest than white people. As a black person, you fail to get other loans because you are black, even when you qualify. As a white person, you can get the loans because you are white. You have paid more for petrol. You are still today paying more for food, for everything. You don't even know what is the worth of your currency. But you rather forgive all of those things and just focus on no, they stole from the poor. They stole from the poor. Because the black person can't forgive a black person. The black person can only forgive the white people. They are still messing us up now. You are so happy, they are fine. White people, let them create their own organizations. They are fine. They are not killing anyone. Let white people form their own Orania. Let them be discriminative against everyone who does not speak Afrikaans. They is not allowed to stay there in our land. You are fine about that, but no. These ones of VBS, they stole from the poor. These people are still stealing from the poor till today. Look at the mining cities. Look at where the mines are. Look at how Kimberley looks. What did the Bears do to Kimberley? Kimberley is the first city in South Africa to have electricity. But Kimberley is the smallest, what do they call it? What do they call the main city of each province? Capital city. Is the main capital, the smallest capital city in South Africa. Kimberley. The Bears looted our people and left. But you don't have a problem with that. Let's speak about VBS. Vugan, man. Vugan. No, they took money and they bought expensive shoes. They bought Louis Vuitton. What do you think the Oppenheimers are buying? They bought a full strip in the airport. They can land on their own. Nobody searches them when they land. When they go and take our minerals that we don't see, our diamonds and gold, we don't see what they are doing in those private jets that they are landing at the airports. But you don't want to complain about that. Let's complain about Gucci. That's how little our thinking is, our colonized mind. But in this channel, I will decolonize that rubbish. Take it out of your ears, out of your mouth, out of your nose, everywhere. Because you cannot forgive those things and then come here and come complain about a shoe or a Louis Vuitton bag or a bag or whatever. Not saying it's wrong or right. I'm saying equally wrong is those ones that you have forgiven. But this one you want to raise up. The white people that got arrested for VBS and spent 3.5 years, they are out. Hey, look, if you were to say, King, here's 1 billion and 3.5 years in prison, I'll go to prison without no doubt. 3.5 years. 3.5 years. I wouldn't steal it. But I'm saying if you say 1 billion, here's it. Go to prison. As you saw, our prisoners, they are not suffering according to them. It's not me. It's not me. You know, yeah, no, they say the MK benches is full of puppets of the Guptas. Hey, short-term memory. Guptas. Yeah, the same Guptas that Helen Ziller asked for donation from and got donation from. No. At that time, they were not stealing. How do you know? Were you monitoring them that time? How do you know? The TA itself must not mention the Guptas anymore to us. They must not. They themselves got donations from the Guptas. So black people will then slaughter Jacob Zuma, but forgive these ones that have written letters. They say, listen, we did get the money. Guptas, thank you so much. It helped us to grow as a political party. We have grown so much from this person to that person. Thank you so much, Gupta family, for always having our back. When the money suits them, they're okay. When the money doesn't suit them, they are criticizing. This is what we saw in the government of national union. We saw political parties changing their tune, their tone, changing their color just for money, just for to be a minister. We saw them. And we will not forget as Africans. We will remember this in 2026 and in 2029. Those political parties, they are not going to get our votes. They are not going to get our vote. Let me play you a second clip just to remind you, maybe you have forgotten what the ANC, the DA stance was towards this Pala issue. Let me just remind you, just a reminder.
The President needs to stop playing games with the people of South Africa and tell us a full and honest account about where that money came from, why he had it, why it wasn't banked, and why it was hidden in a couch at his house. I think we deserve the truth as the citizens. Secondly, Parliament needs to do its job now by initiating an ad hoc committee to examine the particular circumstances around the President's Pala cached in his couch, and needs to be able to have the powers to summon the President as well as other witnesses so that we can get the truth on the table. I think South Africans are tired of the games that are being played, the house of cards that the President constructed, which are now being dismantled day by day, but also the forum shopping. The President's now jumped to the Concourt. They've said, we're not prepared to hear you. He's going to obviously have to try and find another court to try and process his unhappiness with that report. And this obviously places him in a very, very difficult position because he's starting to look increasingly like his predecessor, Jacob Zuma, who jumps around from court to court, forum to forum, desperately trying to prevent having to answer the tough questions. And we have got an ANC caucus in Parliament who are very clearly determined to repeat the same mistakes they made under the Zuma administration by protecting the President from answering the tough questions at all costs. So we have a problem in South Africa, and Parliament needs to step up now and make sure that it reintroduces some form of legitimacy and accountability in our processes. And that's why we're putting more pressure on the Speaker as a result of this allegation and this revelation to get this ad hoc committee set up so that once and for all, South Africans, Parliament, the media, and voters can understand exactly what happened there.
You know, I laughed when the matriculant, the minister, the race, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I laughed when John said, South Africa is tired of these games. Yeah, games. South Africa is tired of its games. Cyril must come out and be clear what is going on. Yeah, today you are the one that's saying no. Cyril will be protected by all means because it suits the narrative of keeping black progressive parties. And let me tell you something, you ANC members that are watching. You Cyril Ramaphosa protecting members that are watching. We know what type of a hero you are when we listen to how your colonizers speak about you. If your colonizers are even willing to protect a crime that you committed, that you admitted to committing, not what you call, a hem, not an allegation, that Cyril has confirmed that yes, the money was there, yes, they did steal it, yes, I did tell my top security, head of security to report it, he did not report it. Yes, it was money for a cow at auction, telling us the process of which they watch money. They watch dirty money through the process of bidding for buffaloes and cows. If your colonizers can sing your praises, even when you are clearly corrupt, guys, what are you voting for? I'm proud of you guys that said, King, not me, not under my name. I cannot vote for someone that is being praised by their enemies. How do you get praised by your enemies? So we can't take the DA serious. And I actually, in my channel, I don't want to speak about the DA. I want to continuously just continue to do our job that we're supposed to do in this channel. You guys know our job. I want to do our job. But sometimes we have to address these things because the narrative out there's too many YouTube channels that are useless, black YouTube channels that are useless, that promote that type of thinking. And our people, because of lack of proper information from mainstream media, they get misinformation and they carry a wrong type of mindset towards our black progressive political parties. So your boy King has to now and then come and correct that rubbish of the DA and the ANC, what the ANC is doing. We're going to punish the ANC for this rubbish. Are we going to punish them? Cyril will not be there anymore. Remember, Cyril is serving his last term. He will be a former president. Those who are left, they will get the whips on their back for accepting the DA. And by that time, I told you guys in my channel, by that time, the DA will be stronger. The DA in 2029 will be stronger than 2024. I promise you, the ANC will be at its weakest, the DA will be at its strongest. Because they're going to play this game of government of national unity up until the ANC grows the balls and fires them. But if the ANC does not fire them, they're just going to sit there and hold on up until the time comes to exit. And by that time, I'm telling you. But what I like about South African politics is like a weather. We'll never know. Just now, next month, another political party pops up. Another something can happen, another allegation, another something. But we must start fishing more in the DA and stop allowing our people only to be exposed. Now, but Melisma exposed. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Your support, your subscriptions, those who are members of the channel, I appreciate your support so much. You guys keep me up at night. I did remove the watch. Someone commented and said, King, the watch is making a noise because I don't have a mic because of this phone that I'm using does not connect with the mic. The other phone I don't have anymore. So I'll fix that issue next week of the mic. So this mic that you are hearing is the mic of the phone. Is the microphone of the phone, of which I think the quality is good. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not a cheap phone. So you go on the comment section, also tell me, is the sound okay? I know there's a little bit of echo. I have to cushion my wall so that the sound doesn't bounce off and everything. But in due time, YouTuber is bad. But thank you so much for everyone who have supported this channel. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.